Good morning, and welcome to the East Baton Rouge Parish Public Library 20-somethings Virtual Crafts. Today we will be showing you how we make our Maycraft, an upcycled magazine trinket box. All you need are some old magazines and a little bit of patience, and you can make a little trinket box of your own. The materials we'll be using for our craft today are a discarded magazine, scissors or a craft knife, a ruler, glue, either stick or liquid, and I personally cut out a little template so that I knew how big I wanted the bottom of my box to be. The first thing that you need to do is go through your magazine and pick out pages with colors or patterns that you really like. And these are all going to be the stuff that we put on the outside of our box. Then pull out a bunch of pages that are going to be your filler. They're going to be what you make your lid and your base out of. The next step is what we'll be doing with all of the pages that we have, or most of them at least. Place your page horizontal in front of you and make sure that the color or pattern that you like is on the bottom. Next, you want to measure about a ½ inch on each side because that's where you're going to make your folds. Each of the strips that we're going to make should be about a ½ inch thick. So now we have our lines lined up. I'm going to use our ruler as a guide. And then take this piece and fold it over. At least get a good crease. So when you remove your ruler, you can just lay it face flat down. You can use the back side of your ruler to make the line straight and flat. Then you're going to take it and you're going to fold it over one more time. Usually my first strip always comes out the best, so I'll use it as a guide for the rest of my strips, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Once you've flipped it over twice, you don't want to flip it over too much because then your paper becomes too thick and you can't roll it in the proper way to make your lid and your base. So you're going to fold it 2 to 3 times. Once you're done, you can use your craft knife or your scissors to cut that edge off. So then you have a little 3-fold piece of paper. Now you're going to continue. You can get about 3 or 4 of these out of each page, so don't worry about not having enough. So when I said that I would use my first one as a guide, this is what I meant. I lay it across the bottom so a little bit is sticking out, and I can use it to bend that first fold over so that I don't have to use my ruler every single time. It's a good guide to make sure that all of your strips are coming out the same size. Otherwise, you're going to have a very uneven bottom and top. You're going to continue this for quite a while until you have a good sum of strips. Once you have a good amount of strips, it's time to start rolling. Next, we get to start gluing down so we can roll. Make sure you look at where your cut edge is on each of these before you do them, because you're going to want your cut edge to run along the bottom. So first, we're going to open up that first flap. Just put a little bit of glue down and fold it over so it stays put. Then you're going to do the same thing on the outside, and you're going to start rolling up your base. Try to keep it neat and even. You might have to tuck some paper every now and again. It takes a little bit of patience. I'm going to try to keep it tight. And there we go, we have our first strip rolled. It helps if you have a little rubber band handy so that you can keep it together while it dries. We're going to continue this process until our base has become the width that we want it to be. Find where you left off, and you want to close that and keep rolling. Try to remember where your base is. Now your next step is you're going to recreate the same circle for your lid, except you're going to make it slightly larger than the one that you have. This way, when you build out your walls, it'll slide onto your base neatly. The next step is we're going to make the support for our walls. So take a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be one of the ones you put aside as your favorite colors and patterns, because this one's going to be hidden. But you're going to measure out how big you want your wall. And then you're going to tri-fold this page and then glue it on to the base. Just like you did all the other strips, just put some glue and wrap it around. Make sure that your bottom is flat and the page lays neatly. You can also add a little glue right here just to keep it together. And give it a little wrap while we're doing the next step so that it can dry. After we've built our support for our wall, we're going to take out those pages that we set aside with our favorite colors and patterns on them, and we're going to fold these like we did for the ones on the base. They're going to be a 1/2 inch thick, and they're going to be glued to the outside of your support. Make sure when you fold them that you put your favorite side down so that when you fold them, that's the side that will be on display. Once you have your outer wall strips done, all you have to do is glue them to your support wall. Now we're going to work on our lid. The next step is optional and only if you want a little handle on your box. For the handle, all you're going to do is take a strip, put a little bit of glue on each end, and attach it to your lid. While your lid is drying, we can make the wall for our lid. Take your favorite piece of patterned paper and you're going to do another tri-fold. Go ahead and glue it shut. And then we're going to glue it to our lid. And it's going to go over your handle, so you'll have a little bit more reinforcement for these. While your lid is drying, we can make the wall for our lid. Take your favorite piece of patterned paper and you're going to do another tri-fold. Go ahead and glue it shut. And then we're going to glue it to our lid. And it's going to go over your handle, so you'll have a little bit more reinforcement for these. You might want to try before it dries to make sure it fits, because sometimes you didn't make your lid big enough for your base. Other times you just need to move it around a little bit and make it sit right. You can go ahead, if these come up, go ahead and just glue them back down. A little bit of wet glue will help. And now your project is complete. And that completes our craft. As always, thank you for coming and joining us for our virtual crafts. Come back next time and see what we have. Get crafting.